So, I had a meeting this morning. Let's put the window up because it's windy as fuck. Yeah, a meeting this morning with, I say a potential new client. It's actually a previous client. One of, if not the very first photography clients that I had when I first started this nearly 2 years ago. A guy called Dan, lovely guy, we've got loads in common, both single dads, been through some bullshit with court and everything else. And he's in a position now where he's come out the other side, he's doing really well, and he's like a director of a hospital in Manchester and stuff. But he's created an album. He used to be a musician, or still is, or whatever. He's created an album with obviously him and his musician friends about his journey and what he's had to deal with as a single dad, going through court, divorce, all this kind of thing. And he's interested in potentially creating like a kind of mini documentary series on it, because there's 12 songs on the album, and each one, the idea is that for each of the songs we have 30 seconds, a minute, however long, of a clip where it's like interview kind of documentary style. He's discussing the song, what it means, why he wrote it, that kind of thing. So yeah, we're just kind of in talks to arrange that, but it's a project that I would love to do because, again, it's kind of close to home with the whole single dad thing, and just a super interesting project. And if it was up to me, I would just do like interview documentary style stuff just forever, because I don't know if any of you have watched the latest Gordon Ramsay series on Netflix. I think it's called Being Gordon Ramsay. The cinematography on that, especially for the interview portions, is so good. Like, I'd love to just do that kind of stuff all the time. So this is like a step in that direction. So that was this morning, 10 till 11:30ish. Was only meant to be an hour, but it ran over slightly just because we got talking about life. So that's what happens. And now I am driving 20 minutes to another meeting with maybe a potential new client, but also a fellow creative, a photographer, just to kind of meet, connect, expand the network, and have a chat with somebody else that's a creative, because it's nice to find like-minded people, and it's not always easy. So yeah, on the way there now. Probably going to have coffee, a chat, whatever, and I shall pick up when it's finished and let you know how it went. So just got back in the car after the second meeting of the day. This one was with a fellow photographer, but she focuses more on families, newborns, maternity, some boudoir stuff, so completely different to me because I don't really do any of that kind of thing. I'm purely commercial, and what she wanted was more behind the scenes focused. We had a conversation about, it's not sometimes enough to just show off your work, you need to show off you working, and kind of getting behind the camera and her doing a thing was something that she thought was kind of lacking in what she tried so far. So yeah, I had an interesting chat about that. Awesome person, really lovely, really friendly and chatty and nice to be around, so I can see why people use her for kind of personal and intimate things like newborns and maternity shoots and stuff, because something like that, you need someone that is relatable, who's going to make you feel at ease, and she definitely did. So yeah, I get it. So with that one, we just need to kind of come up with a plan, a shot list, say exactly what it is that she wants to get out of the shoot, and go from there, and hopefully have a shoot soon. So yeah, I'll keep you updated. So this might sound really weird coming from a guy who is has a video production company. You would think that production value, quality are the priority and the forefront of my mind, which they are 100% for client work and client shoots and stuff, like I pride myself on quality first, or a combination of quality and purpose for a video or content that delivers some sort of value. I'm obsessed with the details, making things look good. But what I've noticed is, like, look at the gaps in my YouTube video uploads, right? How long is it between gaps? It's months. And that's because even in I think it was like my last video, I was like, oh, I'm gonna try and upload once a week and blah blah blah. Didn't happen. And I mentioned it in my last video. I'm pretty sure it's titled something called like, lowering the barrier to entry or whatever. It's because I felt like every single time I had to film content, it had to be on my Nikon Z8, which is, it's not a cinema camera, but it might as well be, the quality of it that it can produce. Either way, it's a big proper camera setup. Get mic'd up, get the lighting right. Even if I'm just carrying it around my house, I have to get the framing right. It doesn't have a flip out screen, so I'd have to constantly be checking back and forth behind the camera, and just the friction points there. Whereas now, a couple of days ago, and I'm filming on it now, I've got the DJI Osmo Nano. It's literally, as you can see, in my car with the suction mount just stuck to the windscreen, and it's literally just get the settings dialed in. I need to get some ND filters for it, especially now we're approaching brighter days. But other than that, it's so easy. I just stick it on my chest, press one button, it records, press one button, stops recording. Or it's magnetic, so I can stick it to any metal surface, get different angles, creative angles, high, low, side, whatever. And now it's got a hat mount. Now it's just stuck on my window. And with the Vision Dock, which not only shows you what you're recording, but you can also stop and start recording remotely, I don't even have to touch the thing. So yeah, like, I'm just driving along in my car right now, and I just thought to myself, oh, I should probably talk about how much easier it is now. And don't get me wrong, I will always advocate quality over everything else. And whilst this obviously films in 4K and 10-bit and produces decent results, it's obviously not going to be anywhere near the same quality as filming on my Z8. But that's not the point. This is raw vlog style. I'm listening to a podcast right now from the Late Invoices show. If you haven't already listened to it, class. They're talking about a similar thing, lowering the barrier to entry, and they're talking about it being like scrapbook style. So just talking about life, your journey, and whilst I'm not a complete noob to the game of the creative industry or trying to build a business, I would still class myself as trying to grow something, come on the journey type of vibe, because even 10 years down the line, I'll be a business veteran, hopefully, if things go well, because of my mindset, and I'm always trying to improve. I'll never be satisfied. I'll always still want to grow. So, whether it's the first week of trying to build a business or me nearly 2 years in now, there's always that element of follow along on the journey whilst I grow. And also, I've just gone in the past month from a solo freelancer to, I've got 4 new business partners now, and this isn't something that I've updated on the channel. I was basically getting to know somebody who had a similar passion. We had common ground. He loves videography. We ended up starting a personal kind of passion project together, just for the sake of creating some cool stuff. Long story short, after 6 months, maybe a little bit longer, we had chats, and an opportunity was presented to me to go from being a solo freelancer to now being a managing director of a business, being plugged into the ecosystem of other businesses, access to all these clients and databases and networks of people, and opening up loads more doors, just from saying yes to opportunities, being in the right place at the right time, staying when things get hard, putting in the graft and the reps, and all that cliche stuff. But it's so true. It's cliche for a reason, because people say it all the time. And now it's technically a new business, but what I was already doing with more support, and access to more clients or more resources, and being able to focus on growing things instead of the whole feast and famine life that an entrepreneur, especially a creative entrepreneur, can face on a regular basis. Because the reality is, I had some really good months where I was earning, you know, thousands, and then I might go 6, sometimes 8 weeks with no income, and that was never for lack of trying. The stars didn't align for some reason. I was still putting out work, posting on a regular and consistent basis, you know, doing outreach, networking, all the stuff you're supposed to be doing, but for some reason I just wasn't getting any bites or any business. And then out of nowhere, like a big job would come in and it'd save the day, and all those times where things were rough and it was hard and I was going prolonged periods without work, I was like, do I need to get a job? Do I need to pack this in? It's just not working. The amount of self-doubt and then anxiety and stress that comes with not working for a while, and then you start eating into your savings, and it's just rough, man. So now, yeah, I'm probably going to be busier than ever with this new business, which is called Velvet Pickle, by the way. Hence the name of the channel change was obviously Cooper Creative, which was me trading as Cooper Creative. Now it's Velvet Pickle, which is a limited company. Now I can not necessarily relax a bit, but I can focus on growth instead of survival, which is kind of weird, but I am obviously going to be busy. It's almost like, right, flick the switch, officially launched, and pretty much from day one it's, right, we've got this shoot, which is obviously awesome, but it's a new dynamic to try and get my head around. And basically, that's probably what this channel is going to be about, documenting, you know, my journey as a single dad, so kind of daily normal life, interwoven with, you know, business stuff, trying to grow the agency, wins and hurdles and whatever along the way. So yeah, that's the benefit of filming on this Osmo Nano, is it's just literally stuck to my car window, turn it on, voice my thoughts, scrapbook style, and it's just so easy. And I'll just stick it on YouTube Raw. Like, I don't care about a mad edit or, you know, high production value or transitions or any of that bullshit. I'm just going to put it on Raw like David Moorfield does, just to make sure that I'm actually going to record and post on I'm not going to commit to a time frame because I'll just end up putting myself under pressure, but whenever I can. And I don't know how long the videos are going to be, but here we are. And I know I've said this before, but now I've got this tool, so I'll hopefully help with that. So we will see how that goes. This is just turning into a week in the life of at the moment, but that's fine. It is what it is. Don't really have any set format with these videos. Just bringing you along for the ride. School run done. It's 9:20. Showered, eaten, got ready. I'm now off to a networking meeting called Growth that I attend on a pretty regular basis. Haven't been for a bit, but things have been all over the place. But I'm doing a talk today on Velvet Pickle, the new business, and all things video and why you should be using it and that kind of thing. So yeah, I'll try and get some BTS of the talk. I've got my chest mount, the little pendant on, so with a bit of luck I won't look too weird with the camera stuck there, and yeah, hopefully we'll see some of that.
I missed the video. I'm getting in trouble.
Morning everybody, this is a first for me, so bear with. So Velvet Pickle, I'm going to talk all about it obviously. When I go to the next slide, the first thing we're going to see is going to be the show reel. It's about 90 seconds.
Oh, it's amazing.
Thanks. So I'll let that play, and then once it's finished I will move on from there. So move on to that first. But it gives you an idea of the kind of level that we're at and the kind of stuff that we're doing. So If you go on the website or the social media, you can see the full thing. There's, I don't know, 20, 30 seconds missing, but it's more of the same basically. And what is Velvet Pickle? So we are a social first and YouTube video production company mainly. And what that means is any work that we do is built from the ground up for primarily social media usage, because the world that we live in, 90% of everyone's attention is on the phones, and everyone's tapping away and scrolling. So we want to make sure that we can get you and your business in front of as many eyeballs as possible. I just have a genuine passion for creating, and my bread and butter originally was photography, and the reason I got into it was because just the dopamine hit that I get from creating that image, and it just hits right and you get the result that you want, is awesome, and I have a genuine love for it. So it's important to me to maintain the production value and the high-end imagery, but also if you just have a pretty picture or a nice looking video with no purpose or intention, it's a little bit of a waste of time, especially for people like us, business owners and founders and that kind of thing. Because if you're just putting something out there that looks nice, but it doesn't have a point to it, it's a little bit pointless. So combining the good looking stuff with the stuff that hopefully converts and does well is the main aim.
Well done.
Anyone wants a coffee and a chat to see how we can help, just give me a shout. Just finished a networking event, and I also had a presentation speech promoting Velvet Pickle, the new business. Went really well. First time doing any form of public speaking or presentation. Slightly nervous when it first started, but quickly kind of got into the flow of things and got used to the fact that everyone's eyes are on me and they're all listening, hopefully. So yeah, it was interesting. Got some decent feedback and hopefully didn't waffle too much, and got a few leads and interest off the back of it. So just goes to show that pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone and sometimes doing things that don't come naturally to you, or when you think about doing it there's some resistance there and you're a bit like, oh god, don't know about that, they can pay off. Because the reality is, if I hadn't have done the presentation, then I wouldn't have got the leads. People wouldn't really have known anywhere near as much about me or Velvet Pickle as they do now. There was only 20-ish people in the room, but they all know people outside of the room as well, so that's what it's all about. So yeah, it went well. Let's see what happens. It's 12:30, so I'm now off home for some lunch and probably a coffee. And then house stuff, life admin. I'd love to say I'll do some editing, but for me to do editing, I need to know that I've got a good chunk of time to be able to sit down and get in the zone and just do it. So probably school run later. It's a Friday afternoon. No school tomorrow, so no kind of pressure to rush about anywhere, do anything, whatever. I might go to my parents for dinner. We will see. The realities of trying to run a business whilst raising a child on your own is I went from business meetings this morning to now. Come home, doing the washing. Let me see if I can magnetise this onto the boiler. Will it work? Yes, we are now on the boiler. So Osmo Nano doing bits again. I'm literally just Isla Marosa is messing about in the lounge or in a room or something. So I went from business meeting into another business meeting, into home and lunch. And then after that, did a bit of editing for my own stuff, because it's when you're doing a lot of client work, especially when the editing backlog starts to pile up, it's hard to lose sight and track of your own stuff or lose motivation. It's not that you don't want to do it necessarily, it's just that client work takes priority. So I had to fit some of that in, and then school run, and then went and did a quick food shop, And now home, and then we're back to school at 5 PM because it's World Book Day, so they're going for like a bedtime reading thing, going in the pyjamas and whatever, so I think I'll leave her there 5 till 6. And then while she's there, I will edit for 45 minutes, I guess, because, you know, do work whenever you can. I was checking the screen to make sure it was recording, because I've set the screen to come off after a minute, and I didn't realise what it looked like. So yeah, here we are.